Welcome back to Elevation Perspective. My name is Mark, joined tonight with Dan and Frank talking about the Mets. A 1-6 week, swept by the Cubs 4 games. We lost 2 out of 3 to the Phillies, all at home. That was not the news, though. The actual baseball was not the news this week. It was the firing of Carlos Mendoza. Now that the season is officially over, we're making this managerial change to spark something, to change something. If this happened 2 months ago, a month ago, then maybe. But right now, I just feel like it's a move for absolutely no reason. Dan, I'll throw it to you first here. How'd you feel about this week? Mendoza finally relieved of his duties. What are you thinking?
I think this was a pretty clear case of the players are responsible, and I think everyone who spoke on it made it clear like this is a wake-up call to the players. Everyone in the firing only had good things to say about Mendoza, which usually doesn't get a guy fired. Um, Again, it seemed like you said, feels like the season's already over right after that, but again, it seems like this is just a move like, hey, our players are not responding. It doesn't even matter what the voice is, it just needs to be something different to wake them up.
So I'll just start with the Mendy move. Month and a half too late. 2 months too late. I don't know. I don't know what the exact date where we started calling for him to be fired, but like we all knew that if they kept him on, things weren't going to change. We all guessed that if they didn't keep him on, that things probably were not going to change too. I guess we'll get to see that. But at this point, they're what did we hit? Did we hit 14 today? Or are we still at 13?
We're
13,
14 under, 35 and
14 under.
49.
14 under. I mean, what do you the everyone's quit. Everyone's quit already. So there's no way of us knowing if a managerial change would have worked. I know we can say what manager do you want that would have done something different with this team? And you know what? It's a golden argument. It goes back to David Stearns and everything that he does wrong all the time.
I mean, what we talked about a month ago, 2 months ago, pretty much every day this season, it feels like. It was never all Mendy's fault. That part was clear, but it was also they got to try something new, get a new voice in the room, try something new. We're doing the same thing every day over and over again. It's not working. So they finally do it now at the halfway mark of the season. They're 10 games out of the third wild card. They're 14 games under 500. Like they're awful. They're abysmal. They go with Andy Green now. He'll be the interim guy for the last 81 games to finish out the season. Then he'll return back to the front office and they'll do a brand new managerial search. It's weird. The whole situation is weird. I feel like at this point, just let Mendy finish it. Honestly, like I don't know what the point is, but
I'm not absolving Mendy of sin here. He had a few,
no.
I think more than a few scenarios where he probably could have done a better job as the manager, but you're absolutely right. It's also not on him. He can't walk away scot-free here, but I am actually happy for him that he does not have to deal with the rest of this season. He's getting paid to go home. So good for you, Mendy.
I don't I
Hmm.
don't think Mendy was a good manager. I think he made a lot of mistakes, especially like in-game mistakes, bullpen decisions, pinch hitting decisions. I thought he did a really poor job with that. He had very little to work with, and there wasn't anything helping. No, the guys were hurt. No one was coming back to help him. And also, Dan, you touched on it there. It's clear that this guy was beloved. Everyone had great things to say about him. I'm sure he was a great person. That's clear. Stearns did his press conference. He seemed on the verge of tears. He seemed like this was a guy they wanted to make work. They wanted Mendy to be the manager for the next 10 years of this team. That was the plan. And he's another casualty here. After 2 years and change, he's out of the door.
I felt like it spoke volumes, the amount of people who are there every day that aren't like actual Mets affiliates, like Howie Rose, Gary Cohen, DeComo. Like these people don't work for the Mets. They work like covering the Mets. And these people are going out of their way to be like, this is a great guy. I don't know if you guys saw Howie Rose. I was like, however much you want to blame him for this year, double it to credit him for 24. Like everyone who had a chance to say this guy's awesome went out of their way to do it. Again, like I said, it was like the players needed something to let them know that what they're doing is unacceptable. But again, it feels like they had no interest in actually firing him, but the players left them no choice. And the
What I
players said that too. You heard Soto and Lindor when they asked them, Bichette too. They're like, how much of this do you put on yourselves? Like they're like, oh, this is all us. Like we're the reason he got fired, not him.
what I want to know is why now? Like why now? Like the team obviously quit and I it's obvious. Like that was super obvious, but like who
I don't think they
cares?
quit. I think they were just bad.
I mean, Frank,
I
it happened the day following the day of the six-error game when it was the most embarrassing display of baseball I've ever watched, probably. Every infielder had an error. Semien had two. He dropped like a fly ball. He booted a ground ball. Vientos, terrible at first base. Lindor, Bo, everyone had an error. Alvarez had a pass ball. It's
Mhm.
just
Benj let a ball through. That's the thing too. The good defenders were terrible that night too. Lindor boots a ball. Benj lets a ball between his legs. It was just like everything that could go wrong did.
and just to kind of, we're not going to close. I'm sure we'll go back to it, but
Yeah.
yeah, you said all that. Like, yeah, it spoke volumes that he's a great guy, but didn't see many people being like great manager, massive loss. It was all like this is a great person and 100% like that's important as well. You want to build an organization of good people, but I don't think he did much on the field
Mhm.
to really make you think like, wow, this is a great manager here. We're really losing a lot here. He'll get a job. He'll be a bench coach somewhere, but I don't know if he'll be a manager again. I like Andy Green. He did his press conference, and I was like, I can get behind this guy. It doesn't matter. Like I said,
You don't.
like
Yeah.
I was about to say you don't really
I was
have
saying,
to.
like
based on your track record, I don't think that'll last long.
no, I mean, like they're playing for literally nothing.
Yeah,
He's coaching for nothing. He's going back
it's true.
regardless of what happens. It's like the weirdest situation of like 80 games of nothingness. Not like all we have to watch is like the kids and hope they develop and keep playing
Mhm.
well. But like I don't know, Andy Green gave a good press conference, and I was like, all right, this guy kind of knows what he's doing. It's cool that he has that connection to the kids from the
Mhm.
farm director role, so he knows Benj, Ewing, McLean. He knows these guys, so it's pretty cool. But like I said, it's just a very odd situation.
Yeah, it probably helps them just a familiar face that they're used to working with for the rest of the year before the search. Makes sense. Obviously, it helps that he has some managerial experience.
We can touch on the search there. The hot rumor was Albert Pujols. I think Carlos Beltran's name is still floating around. I don't really have any kind of preference or feeling right now. I kind of texted you guys. I was like, I want 15 new players before I worry about who's managing this team. But what do you guys think? Pujols, Beltran, someone else?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, we'll
Yeah.
see. It seems like Cora's not coming out of retirement. I know that's like the one that people say he's a guy that should be targeted, but if he doesn't sign a contract next year, he's going to get his full contract from Boston, so he has no reason to go back to work yet. Personally, I mean, this is not a baseball decision at all. This is fully an emotional decision. I want to see it be Beltran, just because I love that man. But again, Pujols managed the DR in the WBC. We know he's close to Soto, so that'd be cool. Seems like there's there's options here that it's like you could go more than one direction and not have it be a complete disaster.
I think I'm good with Beltran in the way that I would be really worried about David Wright because I feel like if David Wright was the guy, like I don't want to ever turn on David Wright, but like Carlos Beltran, like I don't think I'm connected to him enough where like it would hurt me that much. He was a great Met and I enjoyed watching him play. That
Hmm.
is now like 15, 20 years ago. But I feel like Beltran's the perfect in between of like that's a cool hire and also I don't have this infatuation with him that I can't let my idea of him be ruined. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it's funny. Not related. When you said that and you said 15 years, like, oh, he's exaggerating. I did the math in my head and I was like, oh my God, it's been 15 years since we traded him.
It's been a long time.
We are all.
Whoever's next, they just it's got to be no nonsense. They have to run a tighter ship. I mean, it's very clear that the idiots in our locker room over the last how many years cannot be trusted to be at their own volition. There's been locker room problems the whole time. So what do? You got to tighten it up. You got to run a tight strip ship. Like I hate that. I hate calling for the players to, like not have fun or whatever it is. But like you see when teams get turned around, there's usually somebody there who's not going to take any nonsense. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that's David Wright. I don't know if that's Carlos Beltran. I don't know if that's Albert Pujols. But whoever it is, these players need to be held accountable. Everybody from top to bottom needs to be held accountable right now. So they need somebody who's willing to be the face of that. And sometimes that doesn't make you popular, but guess what? That does make you good.
Finishing up on the managerial topic here before we move on. The only beef I have with Beltran, with Albert Pujols, is maybe we don't get a guy who's getting his first gig here. Maybe we get a guy who's done this before because I feel like we're at a point now where we just saw it with Mendoza, we did it with Luis Rojas, we did it with Mickey Callaway, we've done it with so many of these guys where it's like, maybe we just get a guy who's been there. I know like there's probably not any great
Mhm.
candidates besides Alex Cora, like you mentioned, Dan, but I don't know. I feel there's something to that where like don't have him learn the job on your dime. I know Albert Pujols did the Dominican Republic team, but that's
Mhm.
not the same as a full MLB season. So that's kind of my only beef. But at the same time, it's not like you can't do it because of that for me. It's just kind of like maybe get a guy who's done this before.
My counterpoint to that, I don't even totally disagree. I'm just devil's advocate here. I feel like we've seen a few teams win with like rookie managers in the last handful of years, and just think the like last couple of years, like Buck Showalter was probably one of my most disappointing Mets managers in the last handful of years. The first year was great, and then the second year he just did a full 180 with that old school style, and it felt like that left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, like I don't want to coach in his 70s, but maybe like his 40s or 50s. Not to be
Yeah.
ageist, but I feel like there was definitely a big disconnect with Buck between the
Mhm.
front office, between analytics. Like you can kind of just tell, like his post games, he wasn't playing guys he was supposed to play when they were out. Like there was a lot of weird things with Buck where you can tell, like this is an old school guy and he's still
Mhm.
managing like he's in the 1990s. So I don't want that, but maybe like somewhere in between from like a 40-year-old who's never done it and the 75-year-old who's 20 years removed from the game, whatever it might be.
Alex Cora it is.
Alex Cora it is. Okay, moving on here. We made a trade. We opened up the doors. We're selling now. David Pearson's gone. Cole Mathis is in. Listen, fringy top 10 prospect. Guy has great numbers in A-ball. I was stunned to get even a player who has a chance of being a big leaguer for David Pearson. I was saying, release this guy, DFA this guy. They found a team desperate enough in the Cubs who have such lack of pitching that they were able to give up a player who might be okay one day. He's now, I think, the Mets number 12 or 13 prospect, but Cole Mathis.
I don't think he's officially reporting to Brooklyn yet because he got injured like 2 days before the trade. So I think right now he's just at home on the IL. I do think that's where he ends up from what I've been told. It's nice to get like he's having a really good year in between. Started in single A with the Cubs, went to high A, and he was good there too. Yeah, the situation, the Cubs are desperate. You obviously at this time of year, not many teams are already like, all right, we're ready to sell. So the market is much different. It kind of gives you a good idea of going forward, especially with this three wild cards. So many teams think they're in it at all times. The market for sellers probably looks pretty good.
He had the awesome save in the wild card round against the Brewers after Pete hit the homer. So he pitched really well for a period of time. Homegrown Met. He was the longest tenure at the time of the trade, so he'll be missed for sure. But also he's been terrible for a calendar year now. So moving on away from DP, more trade possibilities here. Another really good week for Bo Bichette. He had 333 with 2 home runs this week. I think they might actually like get something for him. They probably have to pay down the contract because I think he will opt out. There was kind of that rumor that he's going to do it. He's playing really well now. His stats will probably get pretty close to what we expected now. He's up to around 255, I think. So another good couple of weeks. He's back in that 275, 280 neighborhood. He's on pace for 20 home runs. So I think the Mets actually might get something for Bo.
I'm curious who would want the contract knowing that there's a chance he could say, "Hey, I will opt into like almost 90 million over the next 2 years." I'm sure there will be teams I'd be like, "We would like to do this, but we don't know if we financially can."
You
Because
know, some,
obviously that contract was like Steve Cohen saying, like, "I have the money. We'll give you
yeah.
more than necessary just to ensure you're here."
You know, sometimes like moves are contingent on the player opting in. I wonder, I don't even know if
Mhm.
that's allowed, but if it was like contingent on Bo not opting in, where it's like you're a rental, this is a 1 year type of deal, you can't opt in those 2 years. Like I guess I don't think that's allowed with the Players Association
No, I
stuff,
don't think they would.
but I wonder if like Bo's like, yeah, I'm opting out no matter what. Like, do what you gonna do? But like I said, it's probably not allowed. I've never heard of anything like that, but I wonder. But I'm sure
This
The Mets could work it in that if he were to opt in, we'll pay off X amount of the contract. We'll throw you $10 million. I'm sure that is allowed. I just don't think the first part is.
Yeah,
But
that part's
We
probably
we
allowed.
also shouldn't do it. We also shouldn't just unless you're getting something golden back. Like I'm sick and tired of paying for guys that aren't on the team. And like I know it's not my money and everything, but like it's going to affect them. I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't.
Mhm.
If they're gonna pay a salary this year, that's different. If they're gonna pay a salary for the next 2 years moving forward because he decides he wants to opt in both years, it's a terrible idea. Just keep Bo Bichette. He's still look. You said he's a good player. Aren't we trying to get good players and win? Right? So
no, it's definitely contingent on what the return is, and I think you sit down with Bo right now and you ask him straight up, like, do you plan on opting out? And if the answer is yes, then you trade him.
I would definitely try to trade everyone who's like expiring contract. That's a given. With the guys who have length on their deals, I'd go case by case, depending on what your offers are. I wouldn't be like just get rid of them for whatever you can, but I think I would need to be wild. Like I wouldn't trade Bo Bichette at this point. Like if you want to be competitive next year, you keep him around.
they are so far away from competing. Like let's take the hard look in the mirror right now. They are so far away from competing. They're not close. They need four pitchers, three pitchers. They need three starting pitchers, like good starting pitchers,
Mhm.
because we don't even know what Nolan McLean and Christian Scott are. They might be back end rotation guys. I know you guys love McLean. I know you guys love him, but he has not been great this season. He has certainly not been an ace, and he's not shown you anything to make you believe, at least this season, that he can be an ace. He looks like he
I
could be a good two starter, but he doesn't look like an ace.
I was gonna say I view him right now as a two. Your points are valid. I think Christian Scott's a 4 or 5, maybe even a 3. Like he looks very solid to me. So yeah, to your point, that means we need 3 guys. We need 3 legitimate starting pitchers. Really hard to do that in one off season. I mean, Mania probably is in this rotation next year. If he keeps pitching like this, that's fine. If he goes back to the way he was looking, that's not okay. And you hear about all these guys, the Wenningers, the Santucci's, the Will Watsons, like the Jonah Tallings. You hope one of these guys emerges, but they're all kind of getting shelled in the minor leagues right now. So no, that's valid, Frank. I can't sit here and be like, no, they're just one move away from being contenders next year because there's a lot of heavy lifting to do. And then once again, you're looking at a total overhaul of this roster, which to Stearns' credit was the one thing I actually appreciated that he took responsibility for in his press conference. He was asked, "Do you think the lack of continuity was a big factor here?" And he said it certainly could be. That was like the first time he kind of acknowledged that he might have made a mistake here, like that there was too much overhaul in one fell swoop. And I think that has to happen again this offseason, but you risk running the same situation of this brand new group coming in. I think it's better that the coaches are mostly in place, of course, not being the manager, but his coaching staff is not going to be brand new the way all the brand new players and coaches were all at the same time. But at the same time, I think we're looking at the same kind of situation this offseason.
There's not a soul alive who could tell you they want David Stearns redoing the team again. Uh, Hook everyone up to a lie detector. There's no one who can possibly tell you after the way this season went that they want David Stearns doing spending more of the money in the offseason. Like it's gonna be Steve Cohen, if he had any sense, he'd fire him right now. That's and you know my opinion. Like we talked about this last week. Like we all believe that he's getting another year. And that's miserable. That's horrible. It's bad. It's just really bad. He doesn't deserve another chance. Let alone forget whether you think he is good, you think he should get another chance. He does not deserve another chance.
I liked that during the press conference, he seemed at least receptive to the idea of hiring a GM to work under him as the president of baseball operations. Obviously, a GM who will focus, their sole focus is on the major league team because player of baseball operations, obviously, is overhauling everything. And when you look at the team as a whole, minor league system, they're in a much better space now, as terrible as the major league product is. They're in a better spot now than they were when he got here. Like we were old, no farm. If you actually, I saw a tweet earlier, go and look at the Mets' top 30 prospects in 2023. The only one who looks like he might be decent is Nick Morbido. The entire top 30 is garbage. It was a dumpster fire. And he's done a really good job of revamping the farm. And again, good teams, you need a farm. It's you can't succeed when you need to pay to fill every hole you have.
But
So
like even that, Dan, even that, we have not had a trade where those prospects have yielded us anything good. And maybe you can cite Freddie Peralta, but he's been awful. And we haven't had a guy come up that he picked that has been good. So it's like
Carson Bench.
I understand the concept of it, and Bench has been good, but like we have this great
Mm,
farm system. It has yielded nothing so far. And I know 3 seasons, the farm system takes a lot, but like he's failed miserably at the major league level.
mhm,
And we have the idea of a farm system. We think the farm system is good because we don't know. We think. We don't know how people value our farm system. We don't know what these players are going to be. So until they start making trades that actually bring us in something, or we have an influx of youth on this roster, and we do have an influx of youth that's just pretty bad. We I can't even give them credit for that. Like, yeah, do I think that they're in a better place? Yes, but do I know? No, not at all. All these guys can come up and
mhm,
be terrible. To Mark's point, every single pitcher that he pointed out in the minor leagues, all having terrible pitching seasons when the door is wide open for a starting pitcher to come up and be in this rotation right now. So as good as the farm system is, we can't find one starting pitcher to come up and replace what we need more than anything right now, which is starting pitching. So it's like, all right, Beatty and Vientos could have been gone 100 times. We don't have a
mhm.
player that's we're gonna put in those spots. I get what you're saying, and like I know that we have guys down there, and like I want to believe in them, but it's just so hard when there's all this opportunity right now, and nobody seems like they're willing,
Mhm.
or nobody seems like they're ready or are any good enough to be on the major league team in the worst season in Mets history.
Hopefully, he learns from his mistakes. He seems, like you said, Dan, to be receptive. He knows he screwed up. Hopefully, they do things differently. Hopefully, he changes his self-imposed rules and philosophies that have not worked here in New York. So hopefully, drastic changes are made. Better players are in the door. more healthy players, hopefully, and we'll go from there.
You are saying that Stearns doesn't deserve to be fired with his body of work right
Yeah.
now. That's what you're saying.
I think you bring a guy in to revamp your farm system, and in 2 years you
No,
tell
no, no,
another
no,
guy start with
no,
that.
no.
Yeah.
Stop, stop. That's
Okay.
ridiculous. They did not bring him in to
That's what he
revamp
did.
the farm system. They brought him in to win championships at the major league level. If revamping the farm system is part of that, but they did not bring him
It's
in to revamp the farm system. Steve Cohen didn't say, okay, if we win a
mm,
AAA title, I'm good
yeah.
here. That's not what the plan was. So stop saying that. That's
It's a
not
very big
okay.
part of
That's
sustain.
not
No,
okay.
okay. A very big part of being a sustainable winner, which is what they want to do, is you need a good farm system. They want to win at the same time, which is why they're throwing 20 million at guys that are like, oh, you can hold your own for a little bit. But he was brought in to do both.
They have a $400 million payroll.
Yes, they
They
pay
shouldn't
extra
need a farm
money.
system at all. They shouldn't need a farm
Every
system at
team
all
needs a
with a
farm
400.
system.
I
Every single team. The Dodgers need it. The
I'm
Yankees need it.
obviously exaggerating a little bit here, but it's they did not bring
It's
him
the
in to revamp the farm system. They brought him in to
absolutely
win
did.
championships.
Promise
Steve
you they did.
Cohen doesn't care about the AAA team. He cares about championships.
He said he
That's what he
wanted to
wants
be
to
like
win.
the East Coast Dodgers, who constantly develop more prospects to fill all their
And
holes.
also have Mookie Betts and Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman and all these guys that
Yeah.
they signed in free agency. So,
And then they fill their holes with guys like Andy Paez and Will Smith instead of Jorge Polanco and Luis Robert.
okay, great,
You
but
need both.
they
You
still
need
spend
both.
the money the right way,
Yeah,
which they have not done under David Stearns at
they have
all.
not. No, he's
He has
not
failed
free of blame. You
miserably.
need both,
He is
though.
a miserable failure to this point in what June
Mhm.
28th, 2026. He is a miserable failure. There's no other way to put it.
I think you're both right to certain degrees. I hope you're both right to certain degrees. Not you, Frank. I know you're right to certain degrees. Dan, I hope you're right to certain degrees as well. I mean, listen, this is where we're at right now. We know that the big league team is losing consistently. His last 15 moves or so have all failed, with the exception of Luke Weaver, who, shout out to Luke Weaver. He has 23 straight scoreless innings. Going to get us a very nice return. Dan, I don't know if you want to hear that. If he has the extra year left, I feel like you probably don't want to trade him, but I think you have to trade him and capitalize on that. But when you look at the last, like I said, 15 moves or so of David Stearns, and they've all been failures with the exception of one reliever, that's a huge problem.
Yeah, again, but there are cases. He definitely isn't free of blame. He had a bad offseason. That much is obvious. I'm not gonna look and be like, oh, why did you get Freddie Peralta having the worst year of his career? Oh, why did you get Bo Bichette who hit 230 when all he's done is hit for 7 years? Like, there's so many parts that need to get blame in this for this to all go this terribly wrong.
That's true. That is true too. On to the predictions now. Bad week for me. I went 0 for 3. I took 2 out of 3 unders, and the team went 1 and 6, and I still didn't grab a win. So really hard there, but that was the case. Number one, 2.5 wins. Dan and I took the over. Frank, you took the under. They had one win in the
Oops.
2.5. So easy win for Frank there. Like I said, swept by the Cubs,
Hmm.
2 out of 3 of the Phillies. Next up here, Francisco Lindor returned. I set the hit total at 1.5 hits. I took the under. Dan Frank took the over. He had 2 hits, going 2 for 12. So thanks, Francisco. Appreciate you there. And number three, Freddie Peralta, 2.5 runs. Frank and I took the over. Dan took the under. Freddie actually looked pretty good against the Cubs. He had those 3 unearned runs in the sixth inning, I think. Everything kind of fell apart on him, but 0 earned runs. So Dan gets the win there. Good job, Freddie. Get that trade value up. So overall, 2 points for Frank, 2 points for Dan, 0 points for me. The overall rankings now, Frank and I are tied at 22 and Dan right behind at 21. So just like that, we're all neck and neck. All right, next week we have 6 games on the road with the Blue Jays and the Braves. Probably won't be very fun to watch, but we'll watch some baseball for sure. Number one, Bo's homecoming return to Toronto. I'll set the hit total for the week at 5.5. 6 games. Does Bo get a hit a game? Dan, you can go first on this one. What do you think for Bo?
I'm gonna take the under. I feel like he slowed down a
Oh,
bit.
okay.
Still been playing well, but a hit a game, it's a lot of hits.
It's a lot of
So
hits.
I'll take the under. I don't like it, but I'm gonna do it.
I don't think the Blue Jays have anyone great. I think Cease pitched over the weekend,
They've
so
been
they probably
playing very poorly,
yeah, they
and I
lost
think he
six in
pitched
a
yesterday.
row. It's a get right series for them
Yeah,
versus us. Frank, Bo Bichette, 5.5 hits.
I'll take the over.
Really?
Yeah, let's just.
we both shocked him.
I was like, I don't.
Usually flipped.
Yeah,
I don't get a lot of chances to take the over because I usually hate the first prop that you throw out there, and then you guys always just like are positive over there. You know what I mean? So I'm seeing a chance to jump on an over that. Look, 6 hits for Bobichette, like that's doable. I'll take the over. Give me the over.
I'll take the over as well. Back to Toronto. I expect him to probably play pretty well there. He's on my fantasy team, so I have investment here to root for him to do well. So also there. So Frank and I will take the over. Like I said, very shocking that you guys kind of flipped roles on that one, but we'll see what happens. Next up here, Frank, you go first here. Francisco Alvarez and Juan Soto, they're kind of the two power threats right now in the lineup. They combined for 2.5 home runs. 6 games, Juan Soto, Francisco Alvarez, 2.5 home runs.
You're making this really difficult for me because I don't want to pick against Juan Soto ever.
Then don't.
But he's coming off the little bit of the back problem, right? It was his back
Yeah,
that he
Mhm.
got pulled for the game from, right? So 2.5. That means Juan Soto has to hit three.
it's probably 2-1. Ali will hit
It's
one.
right. You're,
Mhm.
you're right. It's probably 2-1. I'll take the under. Hate doing it. Not proud of it. Man enough to say it.
I'll take the over here just because it's Juan Soto. Like I
Mhm.
said, 2-1. I don't think we're getting the best pitching. We probably get Sale over the weekend, I think, because he pitched today. So we'll probably get Sale. So that's a hard assignment for Soto. But yeah, I'll say Blue Jays pitching's not that good. We'll probably get like Bryce Elder and some other bum from the Braves. So Alvin Soto, I'll take the over. Dan, what do you think?
I think I have to take the under again. I think
Okay.
one apiece.
Yep.
That's again multi-homer week. You're asking for a lot there.
It's Juan Soto.
Yeah, he can hit like 400 with a homer.
Sure.
I've seen him do it before.
I usually kind of like I have like my idea what I want to do, but I kind of bounce it off depending on what you guys do, so we don't all agree. But
Yeah.
now I'm going to go straight overs, which is not good because I have not have any shred of positivity or confidence in this team. But prop number three, Sean Manaea, 7.5 strikeouts this week. He has the 2 starts with the Blue Jays and the Braves. I'm going to take the over. I think Sean maybe gets 4-4 here, maybe a 5-4, whatever it might be. But I will say Sean Manaea gets at least 8 strikeouts this week. Dan, you can go first here before Frank. What do you think? 7.5 strikeouts for Sean Manaea this week.
I've taken two unders already. You know me. I can't just go across the board negative. So yeah, he's striking out eight, maybe nine, maybe 10. Who knows?
He could. They're not going to win, but he can get
No.
some strikeouts along the way.
But
Frank, 7.5 strikeouts for Sean Manaea this week.
Law of averages says that Chomanai is due for one of the worst starts in the history of baseball, right? Like it feels like it's
He was,
been
he
too
was
good
pretty
for.
bad his last start versus the Cubs. The Cubs were pretty bad.
mhm.
Yeah, that's true. I I'll just take the under because we can't all go with the over and I didn't like betting against Juan Soto. I don't have a problem betting against Chomanai here. You know what I mean? This is a good number. This is a really good number.
Mhm.
So
Thanks.
I'll take the under, but I'm not thrilled about it.
All right, guys. Anything else here about the Mets you want to talk about or finish up on?
How many more games do we have left?
79, 78.
All right, we're
But
half.
who's counting?
Andy Green probably is. He wants to get home to his family. I don't know why we're doing this to him, but I don't know. All right, we'll
It's
call
a
it there.
field trip for him.
Let's
LGM.
let's go, Mets.